The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Pleased to be joined now by the Meadville Lady Eagles and head coach Steve Carvajal, 31-0, and your Class 1 state champions. How does that sound, Coach Carvajal?
It's got a fantastic ring to it. It's been quite a ride.
It has. We visited just a few short days ago coming into the Final Four, and let's take us through that. You get Leeton in that semifinal round. It's a 5-point game, a very good Leeton team. Tell us about that contest.
Yeah, and something else leading into that is we were really banged up and were unable to practice basically for the last 2.5 weeks of the season. We didn't practice before the sectional or the quarterfinal games. We had some walkthroughs and some film work, so we were kind of hobbled going into that. The Leeton team was, I thought, coached very well. They were in the right spot many times throughout the game. Very good defensive team, and they were missing, their leading scorer. I believe her name's Crooks, which was obviously an advantage for us. But I thought defensively we played pretty solid for the most part, as did they. We had a nice run early. Paige went down with an ankle injury about 2 minutes into the game, which really was an issue for us because it changed our press. She was able to come back at the end of the first quarter, start of the second quarter, which made a difference. But we struggled shooting. We were 2 for 17 that game, which is unusual for us. So we had to change some things we did. We got down 4 points late, which is unusual territory for us. But we had called the timeout and talked about what we had to do. And as all those deals that worked out perfectly, we hit a big three, and then we were able to kind of pull the ball out. And they fouled, and we won the game on the free throw line. But that was a big win.
As you look at this, 51-46 was the final score there. Then you've got a very good Chadwick team. And, speaking of coaches here in the South region, so to speak, where I am, whoever came out of here was going to be battle-tested with the likes of Walnut Grove, who got kind of banged up, lost 4 starters. You've got the Chadwicks, the South Iron, the Deltas all coming out of here. So, Chadwick had been battle-tested. Tell us about your thoughts going into that game.
Well, and the girls will tell you to a T, they looked outstanding in the semifinal game. They beat a good Jefferson and handled them. They came out and hit shots early. Their defense was scrappy. And Jefferson, to me, was probably, out of the Final Four, I thought was the favorite just because of the size of their team. We thought we could do some things against them, but the one good thing for us is that we matched up better with Chadwick, even though they were still taller than us each position, but the way they played was going to be good for us. And I thought if we could hold them in check, we knew it wasn't going to be a running game like we both like to do. And I think their coach will tell you that as well. But they got us down early because we struggled again shooting. And we went in at halftime. Corey hit a couple threes and Paige had hit one to end the half. And we were down a point. And we talked at halftime. It was something we were going to have to do with the way they were playing us, that we were just going to shoot threes basically the second half or fast break layups. And we were very patient with the ball. And I want to say we were 7 for 11 or 7 for 12 the second half in the 3-point line. And then once again, we gradually pulled ahead and we were able to work the clock and win on the free throw line. But it was a good matchup. Our defense, I thought, was almost perfect, which is hard to say that. But the last quarter, we've gone back and watched the film. We held them actually 11 possessions in a row without scoring a basket. And that was critical.
Hey, Coach, I know, a lot of times you watch a team play throughout the year, and they may average 70 points a game, and then they come into the postseason, and it's very similar to you. You guys put up, I think 58 was the most points that you scored, and that was against North Shelby. Mm-hmm. Championship game, you put up 39. The possessions become so much more valuable.
Absolutely.
That time, and you really kind of run the clock and work the clock and try and get the best shot. What is that like for the young ladies? And I'll visit with them as well. To kind of go through that when they're used to playing a certain way all year.
Well, and I don't want to say tease them. I always tell them that they're going to be, I say well coached, but they're going to know these things. And we have talked throughout the year. I explained to them that during the year we might score a ton of points, but as you get into the playoffs, And just like in the NCAA tournament, possessions they're very valuable. And the one thing we do well is we handle the basketball for the most part. And we do shoot the ball well. We'll still run up and down the floor, but when it comes to the half-court game, we're going to run things as best as we can to get that good look. And they have heard that, and they knew that. So it wasn't anything, I want to say, out of the ordinary, even though people are used to seeing us score 70, 80, 90 points. But, the St. Elizabeth coach said it best. He gave us a great compliment going in there because we were very mismatched size-wise against St. Elizabeth. They're an impressive team. And he made the comment about how we were coached and how the girls played. He said they could care less if they won 30-20 or 80-70. And we read that, and they all smiled. And they're like, bottom line, we just want to win. And there were a number of times throughout the year, and especially in the playoffs, I was like, are you ready to pull it out? And very rarely did they say no. They're like, whatever you think. And then we'd pull it out and run the clock and hopefully make free throws.
Very good. Coach, we've got several young ladies there behind you. You can start where you'd like. And what I'll do this time is whoever you introduce, I'll visit with, and I will allow them to introduce whoever's next.
Okay.
So you might want to start. Who's going to go first?
Paige does not want to go first. So we will start with Mallory again because she's a pretty good speaker. Mallory had 9 rebounds in the championship game, which was huge. And obviously, at her 5'1" stature, we expect 9 rebounds out of her every game.
Mallory, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us just from your standpoint about the weekend and what it meant to you, and what are some things you're not going to forget?
I still don't really believe it because it's really hard to believe just because it's a lot to take in. But it was amazing. I mean, it was nothing I've ever experienced, obviously. And beating North Shelby was probably one of the biggest wins for me just because, they beat us by 40 in sectionals my sophomore year. So getting to state and everything like that, I don't know. It was just the environment. You can't match it. Like, there's nothing that matches that feeling. And you never really realize that till you're on the floor and you're playing and everyone's looking at you. So it's just, I don't know. It's definitely something I will never forget. It's a surreal moment.
What was the venue like when you walk into a building that seats 12,000 people?
I mean, you instantly get adrenaline. You're like, holy crap, like, they're all going to be looking at me. And then you're like, what if I mess up? Like, they're all going to see it. 12,000 people are going to think I'm bad because I messed up one time. Like, you definitely get adrenaline. It's crazy.
Take us through the championship game. You get the win over Leeton, a 5-point victory there. What was it like that night, trying to get some sleep? And then what was the next morning like?
I'm pretty sure I prayed like 5 or 6 times just because I was so scared. I don't know, like, going through the championship game with all the adrenaline, I don't overthink a lot, but we start missing shots and then I'm like, oh my gosh, we need that shot, because just like you said, the possessions mean everything. And you're like, they just scored, but we didn't score. So you start comparing in your head and you start freaking out. So I don't know. It was stressful, but it was a lot of fun.
Where were you when the buzzer went off when you realized that you were going to get the number 1 trophy?
I was standing at half court with Corey, and she said there's 7 seconds left. And I didn't realize that. And I looked at the clock, and there were 7 seconds left. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's really us.
And I left one key thing out too, Guy. In that first half against Chadwick, we got down 18-8. They had made, I believe, Mallory told me, or somebody said they made 6 of their first 8 shots. And I didn't realize that. So we held them to 10 points for the last, I think it was 26 minutes, which is pretty incredible. And there's some things I want to throw in here too. Corey and Paige both hit 4 3-pointers in that game. And Paige ended up with 106 on the year, and Corey ended up with 105, which are both going to rank way up there. But we needed every one of those that game. But it was pretty special too.
So Mallory, who was the first person you heard from who was the first text you received? Who got to you first? Grandma, grandpa?
Well, all my family was there, so I talked to them. But I had a lot of texts from like our past coach before Carvajal. That was the first text that I received. And I don't know, it's really cool to see that he's still watching us, still supporting us through everything. And I mean, he was there when we played at our sectional game. He was there for mostly all of it. So I think that's really cool.
Very good. Well, Mallory, Congratulations being part of the Country Financial Team of the Week, undefeated state champions.
Thank you.
Now you have to introduce whoever's next.
This is Corey Holzer.
Corey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So you guys are standing at midcourt with 7 seconds left?
We were.
And she really didn't know there were 7 seconds left?
I guess not. Yeah.
Tell us about your experience over the weekend with the Leeton game and the state championship game.
Like Mallory said, it's definitely surreal. Like, I still can't believe it. It was just in that moment, I don't know, just playing with Kendra and Mallory for so long, like, we never thought this would ever happen. Last year, definitely. It was just really nice to win with them because we never thought we would. Playing with Paige and Maddie, it was the best year I've ever had at basketball. It was just so fun. The environment, our student section, like the fans were just so crazy. Every time we made a shot, they were up, they were clapping. It was just, I don't know, it was crazy.
Who's the first person you heard from that wasn't at the game?
Gosh, I had a lot of texts. I don't know, probably the coach.
What was it like when you got back into town?
They all congratulated, like in the game, all of our family, we walk up the stairs at Missouri State and our family is just there. Every single person that walked up, they clapped for us. They were cheering like right when the game ended. It was just crazy. Going back into town, our fans were there. They were clapping. They cheered us on. We had a reception Sunday and it was crazy. They were all there for us and supporting us still.
Is there one or two things that you're never going to forget from the weekend?
Probably the hug after the game. Paige, Maddie, and I hugged Coach. It was just, I don't know. He's been there for us the whole year, and he's been a great coach.
I cried.
I cried as well.
I was crying.
And just receiving that first place plaque was unreal.
Now, Corey, what grade are you?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior, so you get to do it all over again.
Yep.
Corey is a number. We're picking up all sorts of honors, but Corey is probably, Madison actually finished third in history for steals at 249 steals. And had she not missed a couple games, she would have set the record. She finished 9 short, so she averaged 8.7. Corey's actually going to be in the top 20 as well, as is Mallory. They both finished with 150 in Paige, and it was just a fantastic year. But she was kind of our defensive specialist. The last 6 games, she held the leading scorer for all 6 different teams under 4 points. And that's pretty mind-boggling. I think in the championship game, we held her to 4 each game. And, of course, we have a lot of help side defense. But that's pretty nice as a coach when you can pencil in, okay, we can take out the leading scorer right here. And she had a fantastic Final Four.
Well, Corey, on behalf of the Missouri Sports Network, congratulations on being Country Financial Team of the Week, undefeated state champions.
Thank you.
And you get to introduce who's next.
Sure. This is Paige Carvajal.
Paige, you didn't want to go first, but three's okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Tell us a little bit about your experience over the weekend.
I mean, like they said, it was just unreal. It was so amazing to be able to experience that. That's like a dream come true, I feel like, for every athlete. And especially getting to experience that with like your little sister and your dad, that's also like amazing. And like I have the best teammates, so we had so much fun there.
Where were you when the final buzzer went off?
I think I was at the free throw line, and the first thing I did was me and Corey went crazy. We jumped and hugged, and then I ran over to meet my dad, Corey, and Maddie.
Very good. Very good. So what's something that stands out maybe getting to this point? Did you think, was there ever an opportunity where you felt like, hey, we might not get this game? Maybe it's that Leeton game.
Probably, yeah, it might have been both. Like the Leeton game, when I went out, I was pretty nervous because, like that's a really big game and like our 6 man's having to come in and that's probably really nerve-wracking for her, but I was pretty nervous for that. But then when we played Chadwick, when we were down like 18-10, whatever, or 18-8, that was scary. Like I had a little down. I was like, okay, we need to start making shots and stuff because I think everyone on the floor was pretty worried at that moment.
And who was the first person you heard from that was not at the game?
Probably an old travel ball coach I had. She congratulated me, which that meant a lot.
What was it like coming back into town?
It was pretty nice. You know, everyone was just so supportive. And then the day after we had that ceremony, so many people came out, and it was awesome.
You guys have built up some equity now. You can get out of class when you want. You can eat when you want.
I'm glad you brought that up because I tried to explain to him, Guy, all the perks that come with the Final Four. And I said, if you happen to win this thing, I said, you are really going to, and they had no idea. And just in the last few days, my phone's blowing up with, all sorts of calls and interviews. And we got invited to basically a 5-star restaurant last night, and the guy fed us, and it was spectacular, to reward him. And we keep joking about we're going to the White House Tuesday. We're going to the Capitol Tuesday to get introduced. And of course, they get out of school for that. So that kind of makes me a rock star since we can get them out of school a little bit.
You bet. There's a lot of equity built up there. That's going to last a long time. But Paige, again, congratulations on being part of the Country Financial Team of the Week, undefeated state champions.
Thank you.
And Paige, who are we going to talk to next?
Introduce Maddie and then give Kendra a chance.
Maddie Carvajal.
Maddie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us a little bit about your experience over the weekend and some things you're not going to forget.
I mean, I thought it was crazy. Just the bus ride up there, we all had so much fun, and we were so excited. We imagined, like, we thought of getting there, but I never actually thought we would. I thought it was just something that we talked about, but just knowing that we're going to the Final Four, like, it probably should have made me more nervous, but I was like, oh, we're already here, so whatever happens, happens. But once we beat Leiden, I was like, we really have a chance. And it was just crazy, the atmosphere and the fans, and just so many people were there. It was awesome. It was a crazy experience.
And Maddie, where were you on the floor when the buzzer went off?
I was at the 3-point line. Me and Corey had just switched off, and the girl shot the last shot. And then I ran and hugged Corey, Paige, and my dad.
Corey's in the right place all the time.
That's what I just said.
Positions herself well.
I was everywhere.
She's telling how many seconds are left on the clock, and she's hugging Mallory, she's hugging Maddie, she's hugging Paige.
It's a little different because to get the score, there's no scoreboards around on this court. You have to actually look up, and I don't think they realized that they could check above each basket too for the time. But anyhow.
Yes, indeed. Well, hey, Maddie, congratulations. And who are we going to talk to next?
Thank you. Here's Kendra Myers.
Did you say Kendra?
Yes.
Kendra, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
It was definitely crazy. Never would have thought my senior year ending in a perfect season and winning state. I would have never thought of it happening. It was crazy, and I'm so glad and thankful we got to experience it.
Who was the first person you heard from that was not at the game?
Probably our past coach.
And where were you when the buzzer went off? You were standing next to Corey.
Not with me.
Yeah, no. I was guarding the post girl towards the end, actually boxing her out after they took the last shot. And when I saw the clock went out, I ran to the bench our other teammates, and never would have thought we would have won. It was crazy.
We were like, Corey.
What is going through your mind? What's the first thing you think of? Do you go back to your freshman year? Do you? What are some things that are going through your mind being a senior, that this is how your high school basketball career ended?
Yeah, I don't know. It was like, I was so happy, but I was sad too, knowing I wouldn't be able to experience this ever again. But I was so grateful it did happen for my very last year of playing.
And where do you go from here? What are your plans for next year?
Going to college, to Trenton, and starting my future, I guess.
Is there any particular field that you're looking at?
I'm going to business management.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, hey, Kendra, congratulations, and thanks for being part of the Country Financial Team of the Week, undefeated state champion.
Thank you.
And who do we have next?
McKinley Fletcher.
McKinley, how are you?
Good. How are you?
So how does it feel to be state champion?
Feels pretty good. Makes me feel special.
Where were you when the clock went to 0?
I was standing on the sideline by the bench.
What's going through your mind? What's the first thing that hit your mind when the buzzer went off?
I couldn't believe that we had actually won. Like it was crazy. I had my doubts like when we were down, and so I just couldn't believe that we actually had won.
What just the entire weekend, the travel, the hotels, the food, the games, obviously. What are some things that you're gonna take home and never forget? What are just one or two moments?
Just the whole experience. I don't know, like the charter bus that we got to take down there that we got like donations for. That was really cool.
One of the fathers got a number of boosters and donors, and instead of having to take a regular school bus down, they went ahead and got us because nobody ever rides back, after a state tournament. So they got us a charter bus to go down. This is about 4.5 hours, and it was spectacular. It was fun. They got to ride in style. It was special.
Very good. Well, so who do we have next? Where are we going now?
Michaela Shad.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the name.
Michaela.
Michaela, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell us a little bit about your experience. What are some things you're not going to forget?
Just like how the community showed up, being new to this community since I moved here this year, and just seeing how like good the community is.
What and where were you when the buzzer went off?
I was on the bench by my sister.
All right. Who's the first person you hugged?
My sister.
Okay. No, that's good. I mean, there's 7 of you in the room, so I knew all of you couldn't be on the floor. Tell us one or two things you're not going to forget.
Probably just like getting to play with these girls for like 1 year because I'm a senior, so it's my last year and I got to move here and play with them, and then just the community and how like they showed up and everyone being there.
What does it feel like walking through the hallways now, knowing that you're a undefeated state champion? What's it like there at Meadville High School?
I don't know. It feels pretty good. I didn't expect it.
And being a senior, what plans do you have for next year?
To go to NCMC and get a business degree.
Very good. Very good. Well, Michaela, congratulations, and thanks for being part of the Country Financial Team of the Week.
Thank you.
Coach, what do you do now?
I thought that Saturday morning was the first time I didn't get up to start looking for film and watch the next opponent. We had spent the last 2 weeks. We did the countdown. Some other coaches may do that where 128 start and then you're down to 64 and then 32, and we did that countdown. It was pretty neat because when we got to 4 and then 2, now we're holding that up, and that actually means something because there's just you. So it's been pretty special. We're gonna take a little time, actually maybe a couple of weeks, then start working for next year. We lose this 7 right here, and the 8th one couldn't be here this morning, but 3 of these girls are seniors, and so we have because McKinley and Michaela were kind of our sixth man, 7th man, but we returned 3 starters. We lose Mallory and Kendra, who will be, even though they're not very tall stature-wise, they will be sorely missed because defensively they were outstanding. Kinley most obviously will step in as the 4th starter, so we're going to have to replace that 5th one. But they promised me they're going to get in the gym. We're going to do a lot of work because it'd really be special to go back again.
You bet. Well, Coach Carvajal, ladies, I've greatly appreciated it. I've been honored to get to know you over the past couple of weeks, and my dad and I sat courtside for both your games over the weekend. And I don't think you saw me, but I was there. But I really enjoyed watching you, and I've enjoyed following you all year. And thanks so much for giving up your time here at the Missouri Sports Network. And it's been an honor to visit with you. And congratulations.
Thank you. We really enjoyed this. It's been great. Thank you.
You're watching the Missouri Sports Network here at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.